Greetings folks, and I hope your platform isn't too unstable wherever you are in collecting land, and welcome back to the channel for another episode of Grail or Fail. For the uninitiated, Grail or Fail is where we revisit a 1/6 scale action figure, a quarter scale statue, or any collectible widely considered to be a classic and find out if it's still worthy of that Grail status today. So, going under the microscope today, it's our first ever quarter scale statue in the series, and none other than Prime 1 Studio and Blitzway's take on Sigourney Weaver, aka Ellen Ripley, from James Cameron's 1986 classic Xenomorph sequel, Aliens. But as always, before we dive in, I'd like to send an LV 426 size shout out to everyone who supported the channel. And please drop a like on this video as it helps other people find Go Figure. And if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button and bell notification icon so you don't miss any of the action figure, statue and collectible review goodness that we've got coming up. So, usual format folks, we will have an up close with Ripley, then we'll go in for a final verdict and we'll be wrapping the whole thing up with the usual showcase at the end. So, released back in July 2023, let's dive in and find out if the warrant officer is a Grail or a Fail. Okay folks, so let's get up close and personal with Ripley from Aliens. Before we dive in, I've got to say, I am a huge fan. I'm a little bit biased on this episode of Grail or Fail. I am a massive fan of Prime 1 Studio and Blitzway's quarter scale work. As regulars to the channel will know, I'm more about the 1/6 scale, but a lot of quarter scale statues and quarter scale action figures have crept into the collection. And predominantly in the quarter scale world, it is Prime 1 Studio and Blitzway. So possibly a little bit biased on this one, but let's start with this base and have an up close look. This base, I've got to say, is something quite spectacular. I really do like it. It comes in at a hefty weight, so you're going to need some space and you're going to need something sturdy to display it on. But what Prime 1 and Blitzway have given us here is their rendition of the atmosphere processing station from Aliens, or at least one level of it. And it's the detail on this thing that really stands out for me. It's the concept and the detail. So it's a thumbs up on the concept. The front of it here, as you can see, I mean, it's got that 8 on there. Now it's mixed media. This statue. You're looking at all kinds of things going on in here, and it's the same with the base itself. You've got a mixture of polystone, which gives it that weight. You've got a mixture of plastic for certain parts of it as well, and there's some glass going on in there, but we'll take a look at that as well. But the front of this base really is something to behold. You've got all this sort of pipe work going on that's really well painted and detailed, with black washes on there to give it that sort of pitted look. There are panels there that have been weathered with streaks of brown in there and dinks and scratches on there. You've also got this yellow and black sort of danger safety warning line that runs around the front there as well. And in between these sort of sections, which are just beautifully detailed and painted, you've got these alien tendrils going on. Now these are actually plastic. Some of them are quite soft. If you're thinking of picking this particular piece, well, I wouldn't say it's soft, but they're delicate, as you can see here on this side piece down here. So yeah, if you are thinking of picking this piece up, I would recommend caution in handling it, particularly where you pick it up, because you could quite easily snap one of these pieces off. But they look really good. They're not overdone. They run down the left hand side of the base itself and over the back section, some on top of this section here as well, and they just give it that suitably creepy look. And the tendrils themselves are really well painted. They've got browns going on in there, blacks, different shades of browns. They've got a high gloss finish to them to give them that slimy look, which is in keeping with the movie. Yeah, just really well done. I will try and just manhandle this around a little bit so you can see around the sides, but it is very heavy, and you can see where these tendrils sort of hang off, and just looks on point to me and not overdone, which is the great thing. And that's the one thing I do like about Prime 1 and Blitzway. They do show restraint. They go all in, but they do show restraint, where other companies might hit you over the head with a hammer. They're a little bit more on the subtle side. This section here as well doubles as a battery compartment, which is a great idea. So there is a light up feature on this that we'll take a look at. And if I can get this front cover off there, 3 AAAs on the inside there, and then this cover simply slots back on, and it's all plastic but nicely weathered as well. So let's bring it back round and talk a little bit more about this base. The top of the base here is actually done in plastic. Now what Prime 1 and Blitzway have done, let's just move that out of the way for the time being, is they've given us a mirrored base here, or a mirrored section underneath this plastic grill section, which is part of the light up feature as well, which we'll take a look at. But yeah, on the top here is overlaid this this plastic grill, and you've got a hole in there, or what is meant to represent a hole, with that mirrored section underneath, and you've got Xenomorph blood around the edges there to make it look like it's been eaten through, which is a nice touch as well. And we might as well look at the light up feature while we're here. That battery compartment at the back feeds off a red button, which is, and I'll try and get the camera around here so we can see this, there's actually a red button on the side here with this black and yellow warning stripe around it. And the great thing is they've not concealed the button on this particular piece. They've actually sort of integrated it so it fits in as being maybe an emergency button in the atmosphere processing station itself. So yeah, no need to conceal the button. I think it looks quite good, and you hit that button and what you get, and we'll bring it back round again, let's get this thing square on, you get this industrial type light on the left hand side here, sort of in between those hanging tendrils, which is really nicely sculpted with a couple of LEDs in, and that pops into life when you hit that button. But the main feature of the LEDs, now we are under some bright white light here, so possibly won't capture this particularly well, but we'll see this feature more in the showcase at the end, and how effective it is. What you've got, as I said, is a sort of infinity mirror going on underneath that grill section, that plastic grill section. So what it gives the impression of is descending floors, if you can see that there. The light's dropping off down into infinity, and yeah, it just gives the overall impression of all the levels on the atmosphere processing station itself on LV426, which is a really nice touch there from, I think, from Prime 1 and Blitzway. I would say that it doesn't particularly light the figure. It doesn't throw any extra light onto the statue itself. And you do really need to be standing over it to appreciate it, which means displaying it quite low. Now, this to me isn't a piece that benefits from being displayed low down. I would say probably chest height is ideal. I have it quite high up because I think it's an imposing piece. So yeah, a little bit of that light up effect can be lost in the height that you display it at, but I still think it's a great addition, and it looks spectacular. Around the back of this fantastic base is this wrought iron. Well, I think it's wrought iron. It's metal anyway. It's meant to represent metal. It's actually plastic, but it's meant to represent the railings in the atmosphere processing station, and I think Prime 1 and Blitzway have done a superb job on capturing that metallic look. The paint applications are great. There's wear there on the exposed edges that you can see. There's browns and blacks in there to indicate dirt and rust, and overall I think it's exceptionally effective. And to the untrained eye could be mistaken for metal from a distance, or from close up as well as a distance. And that's the one thing as well. I like the thought that's gone into this base, the concept of the base, and as always with Prime 1 and Blitzway, I think you're looking at exceptional paint applications and exceptional sculpt as well. So yeah, that's the incredible base that you get with this piece. Worthy of mention as well, this is actually the Deluxe edition. And the Deluxe edition came with this alien egg. Now this is all polystone, this alien egg, and very heavy it is too. And I do like it. I think it's a great addition. It sits brilliantly alongside the Ripley statue, and what you've got is aliens on the front there. You've got one of those tendrils again wrapped around the base of the egg. The paint applications on there are really nice. You've got those sort of salmon pinks going on the inside of the egg itself. And the face hugger is sort of mid-leap out of the egg, Yeah, the colours, the paint applications, very, very good indeed, and a lovely addition to this piece. I think it just sets it off nicely. If I had one complaint about this, and it's the scale. Now, it's not massively off in my opinion. It's just, maybe this is just me, but I mean, I will put it alongside here. I'll try and balance it on the base here, so you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. To me, that is just a little bit on the small side. It just looks ever so slightly off scale. My memory of the alien eggs, the xenomorph eggs, is that they were slightly bigger than that they were coming up to almost thigh height on the average person. So I think that might be a little bit off. But let me know in the comment section below. Is that me? Is that just an old man getting it wrong, or is that egg just ever so slightly too small? But still, a great little addition. So let's pop that to one side and continue with Ripley herself. Let's start at the bottom as we always do and take a look at those boots. Probably another niggle here. Well, it's not a niggle because I mean the sculpting and paint application on these boots I think is great. I mean, these are polystone. As I mentioned before, it's mixed media. What we're looking at here is a combination of polystone, plastic, cotton, nylon, and probably a few other bits and pieces thrown in as well. But these boots, they suffer from that thing that a lot of, not just statues of Ripley, but of action figures as well, where the manufacturers don't actually get the license from Reebok. Now, Reebok specifically made these boots for the movie and for Sigourney Weaver, and they said Reebok on the front, but unfortunately, as you can see here, they've not got the license, so they've had to do what a lot of manufacturers do, which is go with Ripley. Now, there is some material in these boots. Partially, I'm going to say partially, they are all flexible material, whereas the body itself is made of polystone. These boots are made of a rubber-like material, which gives them some flexibility. So the paint applications are great. The weathering on there, on the toe section there, the sculpted in stitch work into, I'm going to say it's rubber, it feels like a flexible rubber there, is really good. The screen accuracy is on point, the weathering, the sculpting, all there. It just suffers a little bit and plays to Mr. Go Figure's OCD a little bit that it says Ripley on those boots and not Reebok. But apart from that, I think they are fantastic. Let's talk about the pose as well while we're here. Now, I think it was always going to be, I wouldn't say a tough one. I think this choice that Prime 1 and Blitzway have made here, with the actual the overall stance of Ripley here, was possibly the best one they could have made. I think it's great. We've got a stepping forward. There's a sense of motion going on in the piece. There's a sense of intent with her head and eyes looking ever so slightly off from the some of the vertical axis. Hunched forward there, and this really reminds me, puts me in mind of that sequence where she is just about to open fire in the Alien Queen egg room, I think, yeah, great choice of pose. But let's work our way up now. As I mentioned before, polystone body underneath the mixed media. These cargo pants are absolutely nailed on. They're made out of a cotton. The stitch work is excellent. There are no loose threads hanging down. The quarter scale stitch work works, and as regulars to the channel will know, Mr. Go Figure is OCD regarding quarter scale and 6 scale stitch work, but it's nailed on here. The zips are the right scale, the colour is right, and it's sort of that light bluey brown, if that makes sense, and they've got that perfectly here. The fit, the fall, the finish, all on point, and they're weathered as well, as you can see there, on the thigh areas, around the knee areas, and the weathering isn't overdone. They could have gone to very heavy-handed here, but they didn't, and what they've given us here is some really screen accurate cargo pants there. Moving up to that chest area, you've got the dirty t-shirt. That's once again, that's done in cotton. Very subtle weathering on there around the neck area, the chest area, and on the arms. The fall is great. The weave on that quarter scale cotton is great, as well as is the stitch work around the the arms and the neck area. So t-shirt nailed on as well. And for the first time as well, we start to see the proportions here. The arms are magnetically attached, as they are with most statues, and the skin work is exemplary here. This is what I really like about Prime 1 and Blitzway as well. It's a great combination, I think, in statue making. You can see the vein work and the bone work in the hands there. That vein work goes up the forearm section there. All over this arm, the detail of the paint applications is great. The flesh tones alter there. There's a reddening on the knuckles. There's fingernails and creasing on those fingers. All absolutely excellent. You can see those fingernails there on the arm that's underneath the flamethrower and the pulse rifle. It's worthy mention of the pulse rifle and the flamethrower as well. Both of these are plastic, and they come sort of separate when you're assembling this piece, and you have to sort of do that whole strapping thing where you have to strap them to each other. I haven't actually strapped them to each other here. What I've done is I put the strap around the flamethrower and left it off the pulse rifle. Not exactly screen accurate, but I just find it easier to work with. Getting that strap to actually go around the pulse rifle and the flamethrower was a complete ball ache, and it threw the whole piece off to me. So I've sort of settled for this look. But the pulse rifle itself, beautifully detailed there, completely screen accurate with that deep olive green, that military green there. There's scratching on there. The details are excellent. The metallic paint applications and washes on there are great. You've even got the counter in there. Would have been nice to maybe see that counter light up, but I know that would have been a wiring nightmare from the battery compartment. But it says 42 on there, and that level of detailing and accuracy and paint application is continued on that flamethrower as well. A lot of that is actually covered up by the pulse rifle though, but you can get an idea of that flamethrower underneath there. The bandoliers are great. They're made out of canvas and nylon with individual shells in there. Forgot to mention it also comes with this little pouch as well, which is a little extra and a little added extra. And these are the marker flares that she takes with her, and these are in a little Velcro fastened pouch. You open this up, and you've got those individual flares in there, and they do come out if you're wanting to use those in the display as well. Nice little touch there from Prime 1 and Blitzway. But yeah, all those bandoliers and straps really nicely done. And we can zip round the back here. You've got a foam pad-filled satchel there, which hangs across the shoulder, done in a green canvas material with a nylon strap, which is once again screen accurate and looks really good, although it is prone to slipping a little bit from time to time. So on to the head sculpt, the all-important head sculpt. And as I say, I'm a little bit biased here because I am a big fan of Prime 1 and Blitzway, but I think this head sculpt is absolutely excellent. I think it's one of the best head sculpts I have ever seen of Ripley and aliens. Now, I know this is subjective and it's in the eye of the beholder and all that, and I have seen more Ripley head sculpts than you could shake a pulse rifle at. But I still think this stands out as one of the best. And there's a consensus, I think, well, at least I think anyway, that Sigourney Weaver is not the easiest person to capture in any scale. She's got a very distinctive face, however, it doesn't lend itself, I don't think, to being replicated in a smaller form. What Prime 1 and Blitzway have done here have really captured Sigourney Weaver in Aliens. For me, they have down to that jaw that juts out ever so slightly, that pronounced lower jawline. The eyes, I think, are beautifully done. They're the right colour. The face itself is captured amazingly well with the skin tones and textures. And there's that damage going on, that battle damage on either cheek, which I think is phenomenal as well. Showing a small amount of teeth there, which I think works for this piece. Is it 100%? Well, I mean, what is 100% in quarter scale or 6 scale? No, it's not 100%, but damn, it's so close as to be negligible. I'd say 95%, 98%. perfect, this one for me. And it's the subtle things here that Blitzway and Prime 1 have done. If the lighting is catching this, and I've tried to use some lighting that will accentuate this, if you can see there in that in the forehead area, they've actually sculpted in sweat. There is sweat running down a brow from the side of the hairline there. It runs across a forehead area, and it's on the other side of the face as well. And that is the subtle details there that when you get close to this piece make it pop and just add to that element of realism. And I think yeah, as I say, it's just another one of those little details that for me anyway set Prime 1 and Blitzway apart. That hair, really well done. They've captured the style well, the colours on point, the sculpting excellent. Now it's unusual this for a sort of a mainly polystone multimedia statue, but this one's actually got plastic hair, and I think that was a good idea because I've seen a lot of quarter scale statues and 6 scale statues as well, and sort of half scale statues where the polystone just doesn't lend itself to the hair particularly well. I don't know what it is. I don't know, it's the way it sculpts, the way it absorbs paint, but it just doesn't quite work for me. So the fact that they've gone with this plastic hair, I think was a great idea. I think the style is right and the proportions are right, and it's just nailed on and it works perfectly. So there you have it, folks. That is Prime 1 Studios and Blitzway's take on Ellen Ripley, aka Sigourney Weaver. So I think it's time to go in for a final verdict on this piece and find out whether this amazing looking thing is a grail or a fail. Okay folks, so it's verdict time on Prime 1 Studio and Blitzway's take on Ellen Ripley. And I think I've set myself yet another incredibly easy task here. I think you know where this is going. Let's start with the good stuff. That base, absolutely brilliant in my opinion. Beautifully conceptualized, amazingly rendered. The sculpting is faultless. Paint applications are great. I love the addition of the light up features there, even though that sort of infinity mirror thing in the center there is a little bit lost in the display. Subtle light up features, but the paint applications, the sculpting, the weathering, all on point. The statue itself, the figure itself, is amazing. The proportions are brilliant. The choice of pose is excellent and nailed on. The use of the multimedia, from the rubber in the boots to the cargo pants and the cotton that they've used, the stitch work, the weathered t-shirt, all excellent. The flamethrower and the pulse rifle, beautifully rendered, beautifully painted, and beautifully weathered as well. The bandoliers, the strapping, the backpack, all there, just all nailed on. So screen accuracy is there in spades. The head sculpt. Now, and as I mentioned before, I know it's a personal thing, and I'm going to be a little bit biased. It's a grail or fail and not a review. I still think, 2 years down the line, that this is possibly the best Ripley head sculpt we have seen in any scale. But as I say, I'm biased. Is it perfect? No, but then again, what is? But damn, it's 99.9% nailed on to me. Great choice of the use of plastic hair there and not going with polystone. The assembly is relatively straightforward, so it's a user-friendly piece. That face is amazing. I love the detailing, particularly the addition of those beads of sweat. I think that is just that's just a chef's kiss to us collectors, and I think overall it's just a stunning piece and makes an amazing centerpiece to any Aliens collection. And I have the Hicks coming soon, very soon, in quarter scale to go as a companion piece to this, and that'll be getting reviewed on the channel as soon as it arrives. So it'd be great to see those two side by side. Downsides with this piece: those tendrils are a little bit delicate on the side there and prone to snapping. The alien egg that we mentioned before, the scaling on that, I'm not 100% sure that's nailed on, but let me know in the comment section below. And the other things are mainly the stuff that we would that we see in a lot of figures, as I mentioned before, is the lack of Reebok on those boots, but that's a licensing thing more than a mistake on a Prime 1 and Blitzway's part. So yeah, overall, you know where this is going. This is a massive thumbs up and a Grail for me. I think undoubtedly a Grail piece, this one, all day. And yeah, if you're a collector of aliens, statues or figures, if you're just a fan of aliens, this really is a no-brainer for me, and an absolute 100% Grail. Nailed on. So there you have it, folks. That's Prime 1 and Blitzway's take on Ellen Ripley is a bona fide Grail. What are your thoughts on this piece? Do you have it in your collection? What are your thoughts on the movie? What are your thoughts on Blitzway's rendition? What are your thoughts on anything at all? Nothing is off menu, so please drop a comment in the comment section below. I will be fascinated to hear your take on this particular piece. What have we got coming up on the channel? Well, there's more quarter scale statue reviews, there's more episodes of Grail or Fail, we've got a raft of stuff coming in the 6 scale action figure world, we've got stuff from Hot Toys, from InArt, Susu Toys, Present Toys, Exo6, Iconic Studios, the list goes on. We've got more showcases and retro reviews. We've pretty much got more of everything. So as I mentioned at the top there, be sure to hit that subscribe button and bell notification icon so you're not missing anything. And I suppose all it remains for me to say is from myself, from Warrant Officer Ripley, take care of yourselves as always, happy collecting, and it's over to the showcase.